Hey, good morning, y'all. I've realized that I've never made a video with me doing a repair using the spool gun, an aluminum spool gun. So that's what the topic of our video is this morning. And before I start the video, I just want to let you know that my shop is on a busy street, so there will be noise from cars driving back and forth. Just gonna have to get over it. I'll do what I can to work around that. But so a friend of mine has a service business, and he was over at a client's house and he backed into their jet ski trailer, and he was freaking out, and I said, look, bring the trailer over, let's take a look at it, let's get it fixed, everything will be wonderful again. And so he brought it over this morning. It's a Triton aluminum double jet ski trailer, super lightweight. It's a really nice trailer. But when he backed into it, all he did was he knocked off this little foot that goes on the bottom. All right, easy peasy. So what I'm going to do is I've got to straighten this out. You see that's a little bent. So I'm going to straighten this out, and then I'm going to grind down these welds that are on here from a spool gun, and get them cleaned up, get this cleaned up, and then we're going to put it back together. I'll call him and he can come pick it up, he can deliver it back to his customer, and everything's going to be wonderful again. But first I'm going to finish my coffee. But stay tuned, it's going to be pretty fun. Okay, so this is what we're dealing with. This is the foot that got broke off, and you can see it's a little janky. So I'm going to have to straighten that out. And I've got this propped up with my pipe jack. If you're interested in these pipe jacks, I got a video about that, check it out. But this is what we're dealing with underneath, and all it is some aluminum spool gun welds, and I'm gonna have to grind these off, make them clean again, and then we're gonna put this back on there, weld it back on. Easy peasy. And this channel, as you can see, that is 1/4 inch, and this is 1/4 inch. So spool gun's gonna be really nice for this. This is a quick repair, and if you do aluminum repairs, you know that this can really make you a lot of money, especially if you do it on site. But so let me get this cleaned up, and we'll get started. Okay, so if you see here, we've just got the welds that broke. I got 4 of them, and I'm just going to clean those off, make them smooth again, and I'm just going to use a 40 grit flap wheel on the angle grinder to get that clean, and then we're going to wipe it down with some acetone, and then I'm going to straighten out the foot. Okay, so we got that cleaned up. Flap wheel does a good job on that. Make sure that it's a flap wheel that you didn't use on some steel somewhere. But we got that cleaned up, and that's going to go right there. But let me get this bent back where it needs to be, and then we'll pull out the spool gun. Okay, so I've got this foot bent back to where it's supposed to be, and I've got it clamped in place where I want it. But I want to tell you, just because you're not doing TIG, you still have to do the same precautions that you would with TIG when you're using a spool gun. Always make sure that you use only a stainless steel brush. Wipe everything down with acetone until nothing's coming back off your cloth, and make sure everything's clean. I like to keep a separate toolbox with just my stainless steel brushes, my stainless steel wire wheels, my stainless steel flap discs, everything for stainless steel. I keep in a separate box because you don't want to contaminate it accidentally using it with steel and then going to do aluminum with it. You won't like the result. So I'm using the primeweld MTS 200. I've got it on 24 volts and 550 inches per minute. The machine itself will cut that down as it needs it. But I wanted to show you another little tip that I learned from Jody at Welding Tips and Tricks. On the wire, I always fold it over the edge. See what I've done there? And I do this so often, I've just made this standard practice. I think the reasoning behind that is that if you have any burn back, it's going to go up the shorter side and not up to your tip. But ever since I've started doing that, I don't get the wire melting on my tip. So that's a good little handy tip I learned from Jody. And if you haven't been to his website, it's Welding Tips and Tricks on Facebook. He's a great guy, full of a lot of knowledge that he just freely gives us. So I'm just going to do a couple of tacks so that I can take these clamps off, and then I like to get my ground clamp as close to where I'm working as possible. So when I get this tacked on, I'm going to take off these two clamps and move my ground clamp onto this foot so that we still have it very close to where we're working. So I'm just going to do a couple of tacks here. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've got my gas on about 40. So 40 and 40 on the gas, 24 volts, 550 feet per minute. Okay, so now that I got this tacked on, I'm going to take these clamps off, move my ground clamp, and I'm going to take my stainless steel brush, and I'm just going to brush off the soot that you will get on there. But I'll be right back with you. All right, again, I'm going to fold my wire over the tip, and you want to push your weld. Keep a good angle, push it, and I like to do it, you know, back and forth. You know, get that little stack of dime look, but it's not that important. Fold the tip over. I'm just going to do a little bit on the back side. Again, use your stainless steel brush. Clean it up. Make it look pretty for the people. I'm going to take my clamps off now. Alright, so now I'm going to do this back side right here. right, that's pretty much all there is to it. Let me clean this up a little bit. And again, you know, I appreciate all the comments that y'all make, and I read every single one of them, and I try my best to respond to your comments just as fast as I can. And you know, I'm not let me zoom this out. I'm not professing to be the you know, the world's best spill gunner. You really can't compare to those guys that work in the boat industry that you know, that they've got their equipment set up and they do it day in and day out. They've got their equipment tuned to the, you know, half volt of what they need, and they do a great job. But when you're just talking about a little repair, man, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that bad, especially when it's just something like this. You know, helping a friend out, welding this thing back on so he can take it back to his customer. And his customer was okay with it. You know, he just said, hey, just go get it fixed. I don't care. You know, so you know, no biggie. But this is going to make him have a much better day, and my friend's going to be happy, and maybe you guys learned something. But again, this is my very first video that I've made where I'm doing aluminum spill gun. If y'all are more interested in it, I'll see what I can do about actually planning a video with some clean, brand new stock, maybe some arc shots. You know, maybe we can get a little bit more into it. But let me know in the comments what you think, if you want to see more aluminum spill gun videos. And I appreciate y'all, and thanks for watching.